Hi, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March the 19th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We're starting with oil because we are at a neutral to bullish environment that is running right into resistance that we had yesterday. Now, the line I had in the sand yesterday was right around 82. It got into the 82.30s and then closed there. And this morning, it is rotating down from the news that Putin has increased output. So not really sure what is happening right there. And the dollar is moving up on the BOJ news that they've actually hiked rates for the first time in 17 years. I expected a little bit more of a roil in the currency markets, but I think it's been telegraphed for so long that everyone is just taking it in stride. And so we'll just have to see how much, but the carry trade is being unwound, and it has been unwound for months. So for those of us very, very quickly, what a carry trade is you borrow currency from a country that has a very low interest rate so that you can take that money over to another place that's got a very high interest rate and then put that money safely away. That's called a carry trade. So you can borrow in Japanese yen, convert them to dollars. So the loan is still in Japanese yen, but you convert them to dollars. You can put them in a 5% money market, and you're making 5% free money. And that's what a carry trade is. I know people make things really very crazy complicated about what a carry trade is, but essentially that's what it is. All right, so what's happening here now is that oil is at resistance. It's fading. It's right underneath the VWAP. The lines in focus are still where we think they are, right? The high yesterday, 82.50. That's pretty round. So let's go to the 30-minute right here, and we can see before our VWAP bands came up that we are in a clean reversion to the mean. Notice, see where momentum is sitting? Right in the middle. That means when moving averages are flat and momentum is in the middle, you buy the bottom, you sell the top. Here's the thing. Do you see this expanding range? Higher highs, lower lows. Don't buy the bottom until you can see it turning around, right? And how does that look? You know, here you go. You can go to, well, let's just pick 6 because it's right there. You can look at this and go, okay, we've stopped moving lower. I'm going to buy it off this edge, and if it pulls back, as long as it holds this edge, I'm going to keep buying it as it moves up into old resistance, right? And so here they are trying to buy it, right? First time, if you hold it for all of this time, you get a little bit of heat, but it still doesn't break the low, right? And then it moves up into the prior highs. That's when you take some profit. But you can see that megaphone very, very clearly in this kind of formation. And of course, what did they do? They bounced right off that bottom. Remember, you look at those 30s and 70s, anywhere near the 30s and the 70s. So 81.70, kind of a support area, 82.30, kind of a resistance area, and so on and so forth. All right, so that's going on for oil. I expect a little bit sideways today, and the volatility bands are also fairly sideways, right? So wait for the big expansions. Listen, if you take a short at 82.40, you really don't need any more than 20 cents of risk, right? Of course, with oil, that's $200, but you don't need some kind of, 50-cent range. You just wait there right on the edge, okay? All right, let's jump into SPY. That's pretty important for everybody. We are caught in that formation. Remember, my thought process is that we really aren't going to do anything until the Fed comes out, but everybody knows what the Fed is going to say. We've got the same floors, notice. 510, baseline, 5.8, big drop, and then 5.15 or so gives us that resistance zone. So it broke through 5.14.20, but it didn't get to 5.15.80 and started fading again. Today, it looks super sideways. I have no idea what price action is going to do today, but when we take a look at our bands first, let's hide the bands first so we can see what's going on. You would see we've got some kind of cross here, but when it's sitting in this area, it's just chop chop. What we do notice is lower highs, and lower lows coming into old areas of support. And that's really what we want to be prepared for. We want to notice, hey, listen, what is my trend telling me? Is it sideways? Does momentum say the same? Yes. I short the very tops. I buy the very bottoms. And the way you look for the bottoming formation is you, once it gets to the area, collapse to a tight time frame and watch them stop making higher highs if you want them to rotate over, or stop making lower lows. That's the only way you know, okay? All right, from the volatility bands, again, we can see that there's a fair bit of motion here, right? But in general, if we're looking across the horizon, we see two things. We see sideways formations, and we see non-committal momentum. And that means edges are going to get bought on the bottom, edges are going to get sold on the top. So just watch those bands. Let's go to the Qs. We continue to see sector rotation here, right? Fair bit of sector rotation. Let's hide the VWAP bands first. Take a look at the sideways formations. Same thing. Little bit more action, right? But clearly coming into these areas of support and bouncing off of them. Here's the thing. If we breach 437 and hold today, we could get all the way to 440. We really could. My suspicion is that sector rotation is continuing and that the movement really is away from tech and into materials and commodities, because that's where we're seeing outperformance relatively to the different groups. So we know there's sector rotation going on in here. It is why the Qs have remained the weakest of the bunch, and they're still struggling to get above their 20 exponential moving average, right? We're still looking at that resistance, resistance, support, support. Could it be resistance? Looks to me like it is, right? Could we head to the base? Yes. Could we sit sideways until the Fed? I think the Fed has pretty much telegraphed what it's going to do, right? It doesn't have to do anything with Japan raising rates. The Bank of England is supposed to discuss today. I don't think anybody knows what they're going to do, because they do have some inflation things they have to go after. But we'll see. For the Qs, we look at the 30-minute chart once more, and we see the context of the volatility bands. Again, take a look. First things first. What is the slope of the VWAP? Well, for this morning, it's up, right? Now, of course, it's 9:27 here in Portugal, so it's 5:27 there on the East Coast. There's not a ton of printing that's been going on with the Qs, because they, I think they open up at they open up like everybody else, but how much they move is really relative, because as time goes on, there's going to be more volume putting in there. But my suspicion is, see, here's the opening tick, 8 o'clock, right? It moves down into 8:39 and have a peak. Not getting up over 437, rejecting it again. My thought is that it's sideways to down. Here is yesterday's VWAP reading from the open of the day, and that's what we're looking for, right? That's the key zone, the 435 area, and I think we're going to be just fine there. All right, let's take a look at the ES. We have finally rolled. Of course, charts are by TrendSpider. Let's take a look without the VWAP bands. Look at that. Can you tell people are waiting for something? That is a very tight 30-minute formation. Holy smokes. Okay, let's draw. No, let's not do that. Let's check out the dailies. Let's duplicate this this one, and let's put one up there, 17, and let's duplicate again, and let's put it over here at that wick, right? 92. And now let's go to the 30-minute and see what we see. Yeah, that looks about right. Top edge could be heading to the bottom, but look at this. I mean, you want to talk about riding the fence? That is a riding the fence morning. So this is bring out the knitting needles. There's nothing to do here except get chopped up and make your broker money. Don't do this. Until it expands and tells you there's motion, wait for it to expand. All right? Same thing with the NQs. Okay, let's look at it without the band. We've got the levels here from yesterday. Maybe we move this one up into where? Here? Yeah. Let's see how that looks on a daily. If that makes sense. It's pretty close. Yeah, that looks fair on a daily. That looks okay. Same numbers, right? We broke through. Look at how we broke through this 252. Just like it was nothing, but it stopped dead at 380. I have not moved a new line in. That's what's going on right there. Let's go to the 30-minute. You can see a lot of sideways action. Let's take a look at the volatility bands. Those are probably expanding a little bit, see, right? But again, if you're looking to do size before, I don't know, maybe we've got something coming out at 8:30, potentially. I haven't looked. We've got that 252 that I had as resistance yesterday that it blew past. Just shocking. So 310 is going to be the next line in the sand. And yeah, that's what we're staring down. Support 102 to 162. And everything else, they are just treading water. They're waiting for news. That's what waiting for news looks like. Let's take a look at the YM. Take the bands off. This one is still at the bottom of its support action. So we want to put it right there? No, we need to put it right there. They are trying to hang on to that level. Let's see what it looks like on a daily. Oh yeah, perfect. Old resistance, new support. That's a do or die line for them. Remember, the Dow moves in whole numbers. So anything where I've got a dot here, it doesn't even matter because the Dow doesn't move like that. The Dow moves in whole numbers, and that's just my charting software not adjusting appropriately. So in that case, this is clearly still well above all the moving averages. It looks so much more well behaved than the ES or the NQ. Still buy the dip. Lower highs tell us we need to be careful on this buying the dip event, but this is the first place they're going to try and do it at that 180 area, and you can see them doing that right now. Levels to watch, the same ones I gave you before. Hello, where are they? Right here in this space. It went to 343, so I'm going to change that number. It actually went well over 343, so we'll say 350 as the resistance area, and the support zone, maybe 39,038 and some change, right? But clearly looking to hold support areas by the dip still in focus, and that really is because of the sector rotation and what the Dow has as its major components. That being said, notice bottom of the volatility band, third volatility band, this coming down, it's still got slope, so you're taking a chance buying here, but your stop is only to the next band, right? It's really 20 ticks at $5 a tick. That's $100, okay? Not a big deal. Looks fairly good. Buy the dip, take the profit at the top, all right? Now, we took a look at oil. We start off with oil. Let's go to gold. See how gold has behaved. Fading, of course, because the dollar is bouncing, but notice the technical divergence, right? There is something going on here. This is still a buy the dip formation, and take a look. Let's go here. You can see it coming into this area. I mentioned yesterday that 2151 was a bounce zone event for this chart, and they're still trying to hold it. The problem is they can't get up over 2165. And so that tells us, listen, if you're trying to buy the dip, don't hang on when it gets to 2165. Get out and then reassess for the next one. With momentum going straight down, with the VWAP going straight down, that's two things moving down while the longer term moving averages are going up. So it's going to tell you that the buyers are still searching for value, right? When people are in disagreement, it tells you they're hunting for a place where they can agree. And so that area, I don't know, it could be lower, could be higher. I don't know where it is, but let's price tell us what's going on It clearly is still in a buy the dip formation. Clearly still in the buy the dip. The dip just could be a little bit deeper. All right, folks, that's it for me. Largely out of pocket today, as some of you can hear from my voice. I'm still battling this bug, but I just got to get out and smell the sea and just try and work on getting better. All right. So I'm going to put some updates up later this afternoon. I want to make sure that we cover the short action that we might have open into any lows that we might see today. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. And we've had some pretty volatile FOMC days. All right, so we'll be watching that as well. Okay, everyone, I'll see you on the platforms. Take care.